passing of Gustavo Badell is truly a tragedy at just 50 years of age. He had come off of everything and passed away so before his time. This is Christian Duke. You're watching Strength Addicts on all social media platforms, powered by TypeMedicalCenter.com, your go-to source for all the amazing therapies, and Amazon's Fit Mag Celebrate the Female Physique. Gustavo Badell got the big Muscle Tech contract. He was third place at the 03 and 04 Mr. Olympia, second to Jay and Ronnie, 2 years consecutively. And a lot of people were starting to think by 04 that Jay wasn't going to be able to seal the deal. So they were looking at Gustavo, who, by the way, also beat Ronnie at the challenge round. Only 2 people beat Ronnie while he was Mr. Olympia. One, Gunter Schlerkamp at the GNC Show of Strength, and Gustavo at the Mr. Olympia challenge round. So a lot of people by 04 were looking at Gustavo possibly as the next Mr. Olympia. And by 05, a lot of people were like, Jay can't do it. He's just can't do it. Gustavo's the one that's going to do it. And at that 05 Mr. Olympia, Gustavo challenged Ronnie at the press conference to a pose down. And Ronnie was like, he didn't want anything to do with that. Ronnie was noticeably scared of Gustavo. I don't care what the GOAT says. He was scared of Gustavo. And you fast forward to that 08 Ironman that I always talk about. And I must have talked about this a dozen times over the years. And Phil at the time was unstoppable. And everybody knew he was going to be Mr. Olympia. And everybody knew he was going to be the Arnold Classic champion. And it was really interesting to see, because I met Phil in Kalamazoo, Michigan in 08, right after that Ironman, maybe like not a week or two later. And he even told me, he may deny this now, but he even told me that Gustavo made him fight really hard. And Phil won, Gustavo was second, but it was really interesting to see that old guard versus that new guard. Gustavo knew that Phil was the future, but he wanted to make him fight. He wasn't just going to give it to him. And, he came down in size. I think he was doing some personal training. I think he might have flirted with a comeback a couple years ago, but I don't think he actually ever did it. And the bodybuilding that he would have come back to would not have been the bodybuilding that he left when he was with Muscle Tech and he was getting those third places at the Olympia and winning the challenge round and being on the cover of magazines. Gustavo Badell was a really big deal back in the day and inspired a lot of people like Victor Martinez, and just had a really good relationship with a lot of the bodybuilders. Very low key, very like work ethic first, talk second. And I think that he's going to be missed greatly. And I just hope that people, especially newer people to the sport, I hope that they realize the greatness of the freaking Rican. This guy was dangerous. This guy had a side tricep that, I mean, you like Jay's side tricep? No. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. No, my friend, I'm so sorry. Gustavo Badell's side tricep, his midsection, it was lights out. TKO at the Mandalay Bay. I mean, it was done. It was over. You know what I mean? And so I just hope that people will give this guy, and I've seen it. I've seen Desktop did a good job. RX Muscle did a good job. I've seen Ron Harris from MD like commenting and such. So I feel, but RX, MD, those are old school publications. So more so Desktop and, Nick Strength and Power and that. But that's even becoming kind of old school too. So, I mean, I'm hoping that the new people, like the really, really new YouTube channels and influencers, give the freaking Rican his right dessert, because he was that good. He was awesome. He could have been number one. If you take all the politics out, he probably would have been number one. But there's no politics in bodybuilding, right? I mean, come on. Third place, 03, third place, 04, top 6, 05, and in 08, nearly stops Phil Heath, who would become Mr. Olympia in a very, very short time later at the 4th biggest bodybuilding show, in my opinion, the Ironman. So again, huge legacy, larger than life bodybuilder. Some said a little arrogant. Hey, if you're that good, you know what I mean? When in Rome, right? I mean, like, this guy was that good. And then he had these 2 giants, like literally on top of him, Jay and Ronnie, and he was like upstaging them both. So just think about that. Think about all the against the odds, you know, underdog mentality that they gave to Jay, but he was one placing below Jay, but yet he was beating Ronnie, which Jay couldn't do until '06.